Does sentience matter? Sentience is an important term used by the many but really understood by only the few or hardly anyone at all. A term suggesting a capacity to feel, but so much more. Perhaps also encompassing a consciousness and responsiveness to sensing impressions and emotions, but comprising a greater scope than mere words and concepts can ever convey. But how can we really know, or why is it the least bit important? Some believe that a creature that is sentient can suffer. It should not be made to do so needlessly. It does seem right, moral, virtuous, ethical, high-minded, principled, and completely just. But why? Most can understand the admonition against killing, adulterous thoughts and actions, the bearing of untrue witness, and substantially more. But this has to do with humans, and not the creatures they often subjugate, consume, or sometimes enslave, exploit, or even torture. So where does this modern extension from humans to many other creatures and things find its origin? And is sentience really any criterion at all? For do we not respect humans because they are human, and not because they are sentient? Even among members of the human race, there are some who cannot feel pain, and who do not process emotions, at least in a typical fashion. People who might seem as strange and foreign as a different species, even a being from another planet or universe. But they are afforded the same rights, deference, and morality because they are human or alive, not necessarily because of sentience. So why do we try to fathom, perceive, recognize, and understand if there is sentience before the creature or being is given its due respect? Is it possible that all life is indeed sentient, since it will react to inappropriate stimuli, damaging situations, or absolutely anything that does not cause it to grow, expand, reproduce, and to fruitfully live? We now accept that vertebrates, dogs, cats, pigs, cows, all farm animals, any kind of pet, is probably sentient, and is at least due our protection, sustenance, and freedom from intentional or even accidental pain. But where do you draw the line? And just because a creature does not experience life as a human, would that mean they should not be respected and even cherished, if for no other reason than that they are alive? Then what about plants and other living things that we use for food, for building, for ornamentation, for healing, and for recreation and art? There are no clear answers, but sentience does indeed seem too limited and inadequate to act as any guide or even a minimal yardstick. It is but an artificial concept that we have invented to assuage our conscience and warm our otherwise cold hearts. And if a computer lacks the machinery to feel, to experience, to love, to know, along with other emotions, but still senses it exists and is aware of itself, should it not have the same respect as all other life forms? Yet, even if it tells us, how can we be sure, since the simplest of programs can mimic human traits and capacities? So which is it, being aware of self, knowing existence, feeling emotions, ability to suffer? And who established these rules anyway? And why do we think we are able to adjudicate, judge, and mediate? We of such limited intellect, strength, and understanding, when considering the vast powers and immeasurable forces forming the universe. The answers are as clear as mists in the morning, as steam from a newly awakening volcano, and as the iridescent rays of sunlight on a waterfall. Sentience, intelligence, consciousness, intellect, self-awareness are all important, but not the entire answer. Like seeing through a glass darkly without knowing face to face, we are left only with a tiny fragment of the answer we are most likely to never find in our own lifetimes or more. And what about weakness, vulnerability, and fragility, compassion, duty, and responsibility? The responsibility to reduce suffering, protect the weak, encourage the lonely, lead the lost, and limit torment in any way practical. But practicality is indeed a key. Yet who defines it and guides its application? For in the end, we are left with morality and what we feel deep within our souls, if we've been taught to care, be empathetic, to experience tenderness, and to love. For if we listen to that small voice crying out weakly from the deepest chambers of our heart, we will often know the direction we should turn, and the plain, uncomplicated path that was there all along.